Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Leslie, and today I wanted to talk to you about why I am not a minimalist. So I've noticed a lot of people are coming to my channel from my 30-day declutter video, and that's amazing, but it almost kind of freaks me out because I'm not at all a minimalist. I almost feel like an imposter, but I am someone who's looking to downsize and declutter. I know that when I was getting really into decluttering and downsizing and leaning towards some of those steps someone would take to become a minimalist, I was really curious to find people who were in the beginning of their journey, because so many channels out there are like minimalist channels or people who have been a minimalist for years. So I was really curious about people who are in the beginning stages, things like decluttering. So I'm hoping that a lot of you are on that page too, because I don't want to be an imposter and seem like a minimalist when I'm really not. I know my background is so boring, but my bedroom, I'm in my bedroom obviously, and it's the one room in my apartment that is super bare. Like I have my dresser, I have some yarn storage, I have a few things behind the camera, but it's pretty, I keep this room pretty minimal, to be fair, because I don't want a lot of stuff around me while I'm trying to sleep. I want things to be just super relaxed. I want it to almost be like a hotel room, like where there's just nothing there. So anyway, with that being said, let's start getting into reasons I'm not a minimalist. So the first reason is really just practicality. I mean, as a busy working mom, I need backup items. I can't be waiting until I'm completely out of something to rebuy it. So I need backups of like hand soap, dish soap, like toiletries, paper towels, toilet paper. Like I want to have plenty of backups. And sometimes that's even clothes. I might buy an extra piece of clothing. I try not to do that too much anymore. I pay more attention to quality now with clothing. So I don't always need a backup the same way as when I was buying like really cheap clothing. But yeah, for sure, things like toiletries and cleaning supplies and just that kind of thing. I always try to make sure I have backups. Oh, batteries. Batteries is a big one. If you have kids, you know how many batteries you go through. Another thing along that same line has to do with washing clothes. So I don't have a minimalist like capsule wardrobe. I do have a bit of a capsule wardrobe for specifically my work clothes. Just because I'm in the office 4 days a week, so it's pretty easy to have like a few rotating pieces for just 4 days. But I have a decent amount of clothes. And the main reason for that is because I don't want to be doing laundry all the time. I have to go to the laundromat, and I do that like clockwork once a week. So I definitely don't want to run out of clothes after a few days or anything like that. So a lot of those one-time wear clothing items, like, you know, socks, underwear, stuff that you're only going to wear once, hopefully, I have a pretty decent selection of that stuff because I don't want to have to run to the laundromat or do a hand wash or whatever. I want to make sure I have enough to get me through at least a week. I mean, ideally, I think I have enough for 2 weeks, which is awesome because if I happen to miss a day at the laundromat, if I'm sick, whatever, I'm pretty good. I try to have enough clothes to at least get me through a week, ideally 2 weeks. And also, if you have a really small selection of clothes, you're wearing them more often, which leads to more wear and tear. So a lot of times I've noticed that if I repeat the same clothes too many times, they just start to fall apart faster. Or sometimes, I mean, honestly, you just get tired of it. You don't necessarily want to wear the same thing every day. Most of the time. I mean, I know some people are cool with that, but I at least like to have some rotating outfits for sure. One thing I've kind of been dealing with currently is a situation that's the reason for my decluttering, and that is different life stages. So until about 1.5 years ago, I was a stay-at-home mom. So I needed all of my stuff for being in the house all day. I had my hobbies, I had my loungewear, just everything you need for around the house. And then once I started working outside the home, my priorities completely changed. What I needed to own completely changed. So I still have all of my stay-at-home mom stuff and now all of my working mom stuff, and it's just too much because I've completely changed life stages. The one thing with this is I don't plan on becoming a stay-at-home mom again or having a lot of time at home, so I'm pretty comfortable decluttering that stuff now. But in the beginning, I didn't want to completely declutter all of my old stuff until I was sure that I didn't need it. So I'm just now kind of getting to that point. So that's one reason I kind of end up with a little more than I want, is because I'm waiting to make sure that stage is complete. Another reason I'm not a minimalist is because I live with other people. So I have my husband and our daughter. I don't want to start decluttering well, I was gonna say their items. I do declutter our daughter's items. But I'm obviously not gonna be decluttering my husband's items because those aren't mine to touch. So that is all his stuff. So he tends to keep a little more than I would like in our living room, but that's the main place that he has to store his stuff. So I'm not gonna go through and like try to get rid of everything just for the sake of being a minimalist. So having multiple people in your house can kind of hinder getting that title, I guess, especially if it's family. So like parents or siblings, I think it would be even harder, because I know with my husband and I, he's a little more willing to compromise. If you have siblings or parents, they might not be as receptive to what you want for the house, because it might not be your house anyway. Like, I'm sure if I went in and told my parents what to do with their house, they'd be like, what, who are you? So that's one thing to keep in mind, and don't feel bad about that. If that is your situation, just focus on what you have, focus on your things, and you're already doing great if you just focus on your space. So the next reason is because I need a functional living space. So I was diagnosed with ADHD several years ago, back in college. And that means, I know with me, I don't know if this is just an ADHD thing, because I know other people do it too, where you need to see things in front of you or you're going to forget about them. So there are certain things that I have to store on the counter or by my bed or like wherever, because I need to be able to see them or I'm going to forget that I have it. I do this all the time with stuff that I put away in cabinets. I mean, obviously there's some things that you have to put away. I can't have everything I own out, but this is why I do have certain things out, because I don't want to put them away and forget about them. So that is another reason why looking around most of my apartment, I know this room's such a bad example, but I know looking around most places, that's why I have stuff out on the counters or whatever. It looks like the cat came to visit. That's Pixel. All right. So the next thing is that budgeting is my priority. So as nice as it is to declutter and get rid of things and downsize, my priority is really money. So what makes that relevant is that if something is on sale, I'm gonna buy more of it. I'm going to stock up. Nothing crazy, but I might buy like 1 or 2 extra. So having some of these extra things around the house just to save a little money is something that I'm gonna do. The next reason I'm not a minimalist is because I like variety. So I want to have some things that are seasonal. I like having a nice selection of clothes. I definitely just need some variety in my life. I don't want everything to be sad beige, even though I love beige. But I want to have like a rotation of things. So like seasonal, I'll put out my fall stuff, then my Christmas stuff, then my year-round stuff. And I just have a nice rotation of things just to keep life interesting. I already kind of talked about this one with the practicality part, but just convenience. There are certain things like with the clothes where I don't want to be washing clothes every few days. I don't want to be doing dishes twice a day. I want to have enough things to be convenient. I want to have enough things where I'm not just constantly cleaning all the time. That's a big one. I want to clean, like do dishes maybe once a day, every other day, do clothes once a week. I just want a nice plan for how to keep things clean. So I guess it was kind of a short list, but for the most part, I just really want the middle ground. So I want to satisfy all the points that I just made while still trying to downsize or keep things as reasonable as I can. My focus is really just intentional buying. Like I said, my main thing is going to be budgeting. So intentional spending is just such a big priority for me right now. It's also really amazing that I can even have like a blank kind of background like I do now, because my entire life, I have always been so cluttered and disorganized and owning too many things. This has been like a lifelong struggle. And it, like I said, it might be kind of an ADHD thing or just my personality, But being able to have less things has just been amazing. And I'm so proud of myself for how much I've been able to get rid of and how few things I can actually have and still be comfortable. It's amazing now that even with a family, so there's 2 more people in the house, I still feel like I almost have less than when I lived alone, which is saying something. So if you are someone who is very messy, very cluttered, you can definitely change. Like I just can't believe how much I've been able to change over the past few years. I'm sure some of this could change in the future. I mean, I definitely might decide that I want to become a full-blown minimalist. I don't know how easy that is with having a family. I know there are some channels who will talk about it. I know Ada Zen Life is like one of my favorites. I love her. And she has 2 boys and they're a minimalist family. So I think it's doable, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. So we'll see. But until then, I am glad you were here to join me on this journey, even though I'm not a minimalist yet. Let me know in the comments, would you consider yourself a minimalist? What is the criteria to even being a minimalist? I'm not even sure what bullet points I have to hit for that. Just, is there a certain number of items? Just let me know and subscribe, like all the YouTube things, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.